All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on one of the absolute most fascinating and, frankly, most unique real estate markets in all of South Florida. We're talking about Davie. You know, if you think you've got standard suburban real estate all figured out, well, Davie's going to throw you for an absolute loop. It's got this incredibly specific character. So we're going to explore this landscape today through the lens of Mora Realty Davie, which is a local, specialized practice that truly gets how to navigate this incredibly nuanced terrain.
You see, the defining characteristic of this whole area can basically be summed up in a single phrase. Davie is a town of pockets, not averages. In most towns, right, you can pull up the average price per square foot or check general zoning laws on a spreadsheet and boom, you've got a pretty accurate picture of a whole place. But not here. No way. Real estate in Davie completely defies standard categorization. You can't just rely on that high-level macro data. You actually have to zoom way, way in, like sometimes down to the literal street level, just to understand what you're dealing with. So that brings us to a really massive question that anyone eyeing this market absolutely has to answer. What does it take to navigate a town where zoning shifts inside a single block? I mean, just imagine the complexity of that. Picture buying or selling a home, thinking you know all the rules of your neighborhood, only to realize that the street right behind your fence operates under a totally different set of regulations. Buying, selling, or investing here means you've got to be completely prepared for the rules to change from one street to the exact next. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. Take Ivanhoe, for example. This is a dedicated equestrian district. We're literally talking about active horse trails woven right through suburban blocks, complete with highly specific equestrian easements. Pretty wild, right? But then, just a very short drive away, you hit Forest Ridge, which is a highly structured, gated, single-family neighborhood with strictly enforced HOA rules. These are two completely different worlds, and yet they share the exact same zip codes. Or consider Pine Island Ridge. This area offers a dense mix of condos and townhomes, which is perfect for folks wanting lower maintenance living or just being super close to local hubs. But then contrast that immediately with Long Lake Ranches right next door. Over there, you're looking at sprawling, massive, estate-scale lots. It's like a giant puzzle. And this hyperlocal complexity is exactly why a generic, one-size-fits-all approach to real estate simply does not work in Davie. To actually succeed here, you need hyper-local expertise. True local realtors in Davie FL are professionals who are absolutely fluent in these micro-neighborhood factors. They know those equestrian easements by heart. They deeply understand the highly nuanced rules of specific gated HOAs, and they're actively tracking the university-driven rental demand near Nova Southeastern. Having this specific inside knowledge, that is your ultimate solution to avoiding nasty surprises during your inspection period, or honestly worse, right at the closing table. Section 1. Mora Realty Davie, your local solution. A quiet, deliberate practice. Because the market is this wildly varied, you absolutely need a specialized agency. Mora Realty Davie serves a surprisingly wide array of clients all across Southwest Broward County. We're talking about guiding first-time buyers through the inevitable stress of their initial purchase, helping growing families find that exact right neighborhood fit, and assisting luxury buyers looking for those sprawling estates. But it doesn't stop there. They also work heavily with landlords placing tenants and small commercial investors hunting for local opportunities. It's really the whole shebang. And what's fascinating is how they dynamically structure all these services. Under one roof, they handle residential, rental, and commercial work. On the residential side, they cover everything from those gated communities to the totally unique equestrian properties we just talked about. For rentals, they provide heavy landlord support, especially around that Nova Southeastern University corridor. And commercially, they're handling owner-user acquisitions and mixed-use properties, like the busy hubs along University Drive. Having all of this handled by one practice ensures incredible continuity across any transaction you might do with them over the years. Now, this is a critical distinction. Finding the best real estate agent in Davie FL means hiring someone who can spot pricing, HOA, and insurance patterns long before they ever hit a comparable sales report. Because, let's be real, anyone can read data after the fact, right? True expertise, especially in a market where zoning changes block by block, is about anticipating those local patterns and protecting your investment before you even make an offer.
So looking at all this, you might actually be asking yourself, why work with a deliberate boutique practice instead of one of those massive, sprawling corporate agencies? Honestly, it's a very fair question. When you see those big billboards everywhere, it's kind of easy to just assume bigger is automatically better. But in a hyper-local market like this one, the distinct advantages of a boutique communication style and a true personal touch, they become absolute game changers. Just contrast the typical agency experience with Mora Realty Davie's approach. Normally, you're dealing with gatekeepers, you're leaving messages with receptionists, and you inevitably get handed off to junior agents the second a contract is signed. But with Mora, you get a direct line. Zero gatekeepers. The exact same licensed agent handles your transaction end to end. It's just a highly personal, honest, and direct approach to real estate. And their actual workflow is incredibly straightforward and entirely client-focused. It's really just 3 simple steps. Step 1, you start with a short, honest conversation about what you actually want to achieve. Step 2, you pick the path that aligns closest to your goals, whether that's buying your dream home, selling an asset, or investing. And Step 3, the agency takes over and handles the entire transaction, end to end. No handoffs, no confusion, just focused execution. So the crucial point is this absolute no gatekeeper guarantee. You can literally call the office line directly. You can text their SMS cell line directly from your phone. You can shoot over a property link or even an address you just drove by to get quick, honest insights. And you're going to get replies within business hours, which, by the way, are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. You are always easily reaching the licensed Florida agent doing the actual work, not an assistant. Now, even though their focus is laser sharp on Davie, they totally understand that buyers often shop around multiple areas. If you're comparing Davie against family-oriented pockets in neighboring towns, well, this practice has you covered there too. They bring that exact same level of localized expertise to Cooper City, Southwest Ranches, Weston, Plantation, Sunrise, Fort Lauderdale, and Pembroke Pines. So you don't need to go out and find a brand new agent just because you cross the city line. Section 2. Ready to make your move? Connect with Mora Realty Davie today. We've really explored just how beautifully complex this town is and why having a dedicated, deeply knowledgeable guide is absolutely essential. Mora Realty Davie is located right in the heart of it all at 4901 Shalimar Lane, Davie, Florida. You can call them at 954-613-6607 or just shoot a text to 786-307-0478. Or, of course, check out morerealtydavie.com to learn more. And I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. In a true town of pockets, where the rules, the lifestyle, and the very landscape can literally change from one block to the next, are you ready to find exactly where you belong,